I like firm.
Welcome to the Historic District Commission meeting. It's Monday, March 23rd, 5 o'clock. I'm Elizabeth Moss. Just going to introduce the people up here and then we'll do the official call to order.
Arlene Tunney.
Martha Ball. Okay.
And I'd like to start this meeting by thanking Kay McManus, who has left the board. She retired her term, and we have a new member, Christy Zent. And we'd also like to thank Arlene Tunney, who is our outgoing chair and our only licensed architect on the board, so an invaluable member. So thank you, Arlene, for your service. And for tonight, after presentations by the applicant, members of the public will be allowed 2 opportunities to speak on agenda items. The chair will ask if anyone from the public has questions of the applicant to understand the project. After questions are closed, the chair will ask if anyone from the public has comments. Members of the public will have up to 3 minutes per person to comment. Comments should be limited to the exterior design of the building and site. Comments will not be allowed as to the interior design or use of the project. And thank you for coming and participating in this. First item of agenda is the Federal Properties of Rhode Island, Plat 5, Lot 11, fire number 123 Ocean Avenue. Application by Matthew Berry for the old post office bagel shop to extend the exterior fence.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Folks, thank you for your time. Yeah, my name is Matthew Berry. I'm partner of the old post office bagel shop. And yeah, we're submitting an application for a fence extension surrounding our walk-in area and our employee entrances. There's already a fence there. And essentially we're trying to extend it 10 feet by 7 feet, 102 inches tall. We'll move the steps directly to the left, install 3 new steps. We'll have an employee gate, delivery gate, trash receptacles on the front embedded into the fence. Pretty straightforward project. Plan on using quality material. We have approval from the ownership group. A good team behind us to do the work properly. Reason why it's important to us, we've been very blessed to be increasingly busy year to year, and that is a very high traffic, borderline chaotic area for us in the summer months. We think it will not only borderline improve safety, it is at times dangerous, us coming in and out of there. Food products, hot products, trash. The amount of times I've almost hit a child running around on the patio in that area. Yeah, we basically want to box us in, keep our our workflow condensed, and we think it's the right thing for us. We think it's the right thing for the business, and in turn, it will be the right thing for the community.
I think it's an improvement on what's there. Drove by there. The only request I would have is when you put the new stair in, it's gonna be like 3 steps. Can you please put a rail? And it wasn't not just me, other people have commented to me that it would be nice to have very simple rail. So that you don't break your whatever.
It's a good entrance for people to the bank, of course, as well.
Right.
The patio, build gallery. We can do that. We can have.
And I would just like to clarify for, you're matching exactly what's there with the vertical slats and then the lattice on top? Okay, and the gate would be where?
The gate would be essentially right next to where the wall ends now. And it'd be right there, 32, sorry, 32
Okay.
inch gate. Just very low profile, only to be used essentially for large scale deliveries. We don't know if it's, you know.
Yeah, I overall agree with Arlene that, this has no adverse impact to the existing structure. It's technically a reversible treatment. What I would like, though, on the parking lot side, on your proposed, and I'm not sure if this was intentional or not, because I know it's a photo overlay, but it would be great if the fence stopped just short of the white corner bead, so that it doesn't cover up the edge of the building. Because yeah, in your photo, it kind of crosses over. I don't.
That can certainly done.
Yeah, I think it's an improvement.
Anything more?
I make a motion that we approve this with the provision that the steps to the parking lot has a simple rail and the corner board is left exposed on the existing building.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thanks.
Thank you, Amanda.
You'll see that stuff on Wednesday. I know, like we talked about, this.
Okay, if I go.
Yep.
Yes. Dismissed.
Oh, you didn't bring any bagels.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 2 on the agenda. Robert and Sandy Sherman Enterprises, Plat 6, Lot 139, fire number 243 Dodge Street. Application by Holly Herdman for Mary McGill replacement window. I hear they have a broken window.
What did we end up with here?
You can introduce yourself with the microphone, please.
Broken habit is, but unfortunately, that side. The raptor site. Opposed to basically three that operate. Larger single pane in the center, with the smaller panes on the left, be operable. All air flow into that building. This is actually a little more symmetrical to what that very existing square front of the building. It's that window similar.
Are those gliders?
You know, where
It says sliding window here.
yes, because the other option to fit that size, outside would be 2 double hungs, which just aesthetically wouldn't look appropriate. But the proposal would be to do 2 gliders that. can open
The end units are
Yeah,
gliders. Yeah.
Units that are there now, I believe, are a large center thick with all hungs.
Well, it's this window, right?
Correct.
Yes. Yeah, and you see the.
Oh, yeah.
Would be very similar to those, that's just. Duplicate that.
Well, as a general rule of thumb, for the historic district, it's generally to replace in kind or to make an improvement based on historic precedents. And the existing broken window is less compatible than what you're proposing. Because I know there were the window previous to this one was a triple window. They may have been double hung, I'm not sure. But I think what you're proposing, even without the muntins on top, is more in character.
Yeah, what happened to the last time I was in the office, there was a proposal for a window that was far more in keeping with what we had had previously on that building.
No, this
Yes.
is the only submission we've had.
You
The
had,
other-
you had.
The other
you showed
pictures,
me.
those were pictures from the historic files. Those were not part of her.
So that,
application.
those never went to the owners
They did, but that was not part of their application.
and they didn't choose to pursue that.
Right.
So based on that information, how do you feel about this?
I don't like it. It's not that I don't like it, it's that I know what was there before.
It's a
has-
missed opportunity.
I would say very much a missed opportunity, and I know that there are ways of, I don't believe that there aren't ways of doing this to make it work, so there's at least some muttons on the two sides. Even if the main pane is open. Now, I remember when it was a garage and then there were multi-paned windows over it.
So originally, you're saying, Martha, that you want buttons on two, like,
Well, if they
like
want,
two windows
if they want
and then a
three,
center?
yeah, now
stuff?
why, you can't get narrow double hung?
Correct, in that. Time.
You can't do a center fix and two casements?
Correct.
What's the
Existing
size?
Size of the hole.
Yeah.
What's the size of the hole? Oh, 6 feet?
Yeah,
But the historic photo had 3 narrow double hungs, I believe.
That was not, that window in the historic photo was bigger than this because it was covering a garage door.
Okay, so this existing window opening
When that,
is
because that was
smaller
for an
than-
application to put
than a
this in.
previous.
Yes.
Okay.
I think this was done, if I may be wrong, because clearly I'm not understanding what was in the file. It was my understanding that this was put in prior to the enactment of HTC. Which explains why it's,
Right, and that's why I was saying as a general rule, it's either replace in kind or make an improvement. Since this particular window happened before.
Well, you could do 2 double hungs with muntins on the top.
Although I think the character of the building is a triple.
Well, if there's a double up here,
yeah, this edge was the butcher shop, and then it was a garage, and then it was real estate office. It wasn't part of the unfortunately, I don't think we have any old pictures here.
No, I don't have any.
There aren't anything. Well, henceforth, I think we should have, if we have old applications for buildings, if we have material that speaks to what's going to be before us, that should be available to us. I shouldn't know about that only because I've lived here forever. And people who are on the board,
You ask anybody, Buddy Anderson, representative about,
I dealt with Ray Drexel, final number. The other windows other than Anderson, obviously, I don't, be honest, I called the lumberyard and talked to my
Yeah.
sales rep and my window for them to investigate all out. And they are aware of the HGC and trying to do, and we're limited on size, and unfortunately, the other option was to do a glider as well, it's be similar, but it would be 5 inches smaller in both directions. Which would therefore, take away from the.
Ray also sells Paradigm. They make it fit. There's no size there. I'm a contractor. So
That was the information I gave Ray, and but got back with, and after him looking at it too, the best option. Try to also match the aesthetics of the front, which is a triple pane. I'm assuming, millions they can add. Usually you can add those to windows, usually you can actually get them out front as well, so that may be an option.
No, because if you have muntins, we require it.
But
Yeah,
I can ask, usually that is an option.
Yeah.
Always choose the colors in between the glass outside the glass. But that is something that would be more appealing to make it more aesthetically match the other three windows that are in gray. Or I need to go back to Ray and try to have him investigate other companies and sizes.
well, it is an improvement from the existing.
What's the feelings on adding muntins or not?
I think this is such a good feature. We have it, the Star has this as well, the multi-pane
Over single?
yeah. And I think there may be somebody else in town who's not using it. And this just looks like a blank space.
Yeah, I mean, my feeling is if they could do the muntins, that's even more of an improvement. But I don't know what you think, Arlene.
yeah, but I think that it should be just two double hungs, because these are double hungs and look like double hungs in the front. Doesn't have to be three, be
Well, the
two.
historic photo had them as triple on over here. So I think the historic precedence is
It's
the
three,
triple.
yeah, right. Well, then maybe there should be three equal size units.
What do you want to do? Well,
Oh, here it is, the rough openings, 6'5".
Yeah, it's right there. So would be, would,
You could do three 2-foot double hungs.
Going to get it. Glass. Careful, lines, small enough. Just a metal ones, you start losing a lot of space as with where they ball them together. And then you have to as well.
And this is very, much more friendly for a store front to have ability to speak to the street. And I would also say that while like it is because it's a knockout and a separate material of the building. And I'm not fully understanding what was originally there, but it sounds like a garage.
well, it
With
was
three-
garage and we just put windows over it.
Okay.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
thought the file would be there tonight.
Yeah.
I can't,
Hard for me to imagine exactly, but
it was funky.
I think I'm okay with it being not exactly matching because it's really
Hey,
a separate entity. And I do think this is an improvement.
And if they could get muntins,
But if you had three windows like Arlene was saying, three like these, without the wider one in the middle, you'd still have a fair amount of space. And you still have a fair amount of open grass. Because it's not on the street anyway, it's not,
Yeah, it's not a shopping
it's not
window.
store-
Right, if it was equal.
Yeah,
And if you do open them, the other thing they plan to do, you know, on double homes open and then so from there where they're gliding, those units go over, you get a lot more air flow. Versus when the double homes are open and the mountains overlap. That's originally why I believe it was quoted to be the way it was, single and clear, so that way when they're half open, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, we're not in a position to insist that you put back something that wasn't, that isn't there at the moment that you're replacing this window. While my preference would be something closer to what was there in those from the file from the 80s. There's no question in my mind what that you're proposing is an improvement to what's currently there. So I would be supportive of it. The question is, do we add the Muttons if they would do that? You have a feeling on that, Mark?
It's the only brick building in the Select District.
No,
except
I
on
like
across the street.
what my sister said here, it's not part of it's separate, it's an improvement. I'd like to keep the whole.
Would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, that last one first. Then on plot 6, 139, file number 243. Yeah, to replace the window as presented with 2 sliding side left and right. The middle is stationary. In the historic district. It's an improvement.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Uh,
I'll support it. Those against?
I,
I'm against it, I think it's a missed opportunity.
Split vote, but motion passes. Yeah, but I do
Okay, good. Now you talk.
Did the motion pass and get recorded?
I don't know.
Well, the motion passed. It was split vote, 3-4, 2 against. And I agree with Martha that this is a missed opportunity to improve it even more. But it brings up a good point in the future to really have available the existing files with all the background information for the applicant as well as us for making these types of decisions. That'll just benefit our island, but thank you.
Okay, so for my clarification, am I responsible for bringing these files, or do they need to be responsible for bringing these files? Because it was not a part of the application. I just found that when I was going through files for something else, which is why I showed it to you.
It's currently not your responsibility, but we need to figure that out moving forward.
Okay. I'll add that to the list.
Yeah, because,
But once you bring them out, you can't. I left here the other day thinking those were, all of that was being relayed to the. or the,
I shared it with Holly, but it was not,
I should have
a
just
part of
called-
the
I should have called Sandy myself. I'll take, that's on me. I didn't.
Okay.
number 3 is a big exciting one. Casa Ladera LLC, Plot 6, Lot 2-3, Old Town Road, application by John Spear for a single-family dwelling. And just want to, we're here to support sensitive development in the district and while protecting the character to the surrounding and discourage unsympathetic changes from occurring. And, we're excited to hear about your application and see what you're presenting to us. Good evening.
This is
Would you do you light on?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, is this better? Closer?
Is it's for the recording.
Okay. Let me just mention about the lot. The lot is flat 6, 2-2. It's a conforming lot. It's a result of self-built a few years ago. So it's not a grandfather. And then we own it because we're facilitators, self-builders. And we took an option right of first refusal on it. But for our surprise, the previous owners came to the school. So we had. So we find ourselves on. Yeah. Down top. One of the protection. That said, it seems like now these closing relatively small. Closing is about 50% what we could. We were afraid, didn't buy it. Still. So we designed a house for it. I think it's patients. It's pretty challenging. Sort of design out.
Hey, John, for the record, because there have been a couple of questions and they may come up and would just like to get this off the table right away. You said it was a split lot. This subdivision had been what I'm going to call the Merwin Willis lot that other people may know by Mayberry, may know by Starr, may know by Flavia Clark, may know by Stennett, and in any event, it's all the same piece of property. And this does not impact your application, what is before us tonight, doesn't impact the existing Willis House. That's the one that was Flavia's. That's what I just want that clear because a couple of people have said, well, they have to take that down to build this. And I said, I don't really think that's the way this is going. Yep, thank you. It's just, yeah. I wanted to make it super clear. So thank you, John.
We call.
You can also put it on your table too, if you want. That way you don't have to hold it.
Perfect. Yeah, in the middle. And I'll see it.
Yeah, we don't need that piece.
Is that the same as the little one here?
Yes.
It's the same as-
Yes.
Okay.
Same thing. It's just.
So this is the overall site plan you're looking at. You can see the lot is constrained by some setbacks. I think you're all familiar with well house, which should simplify. People probably all know that we restored that.
just restored it.
Existing well is here as well.
Who's the teacher here?
So the other thing, I point out that we're looking for about 60% of the coverage that the lot would support according to the zoning for it. You can look at the chart if you need to. It's relatively small. If you're familiar with the lot, it's sort of a hollow. It's not up on the hill. It's tucked into the hill. The other thing I'll say about this design is that it's very low. We're in a 30-foot height zone. Most of this building is in the 22, 21 foot range. And that's, very deliberate on our part because the Captain Willis house, the Flavia's house is here. Our house is here. And this is our view. So
Yeah, can you speak louder for a second?
if we ended up, if this property had a house 30 feet high, it would impact our view, impact Marie Langdon's view. It would impact Aaron O'Neill's view. So this house is about 60% of the height that it could be as well. It's really tucked in. And this is one of the reasons that I went to an architect because it's a very challenging site to make it look good. And I think Paolo Vicente did a really nice job with it. We gave Paolo the historic guidelines for this.
What would have helped on that, the sketch site plan would be to include the footprints of the adjacent properties, the adjacent structures, just to see the relationship.
Well, you have
We've got
the,
an- we've got an aerial.
yeah, you have the site section.
I mean, page 5.
Not really, but
Yes. No, you're right. It's not a footprint. I can pretty much tell you what the footprints are. The square footage. This, for example, is the Historical Society. This is what we're proposing here. This is the Captain Willis house, the Flavia's house. This is our house on top. And then if you look at the aerial, that also gives you a fairly good idea. If you look at the aerial photograph, which is our number 5 here. Seems like he has 2 of them labeled 5.
Yeah.
That also shows you how big this lot really is. And if you compare that to the sketch site plan, you'll see that the house is really in character with everything else up there. There are some smaller houses, yes, and there are also some much larger houses. There are some lots in the neighborhood that have less lot coverage, but I would say most of them have more.
Why don't you come up here so you could,
You can come and go for more. I can't, it's the way of your space. He's on the microphone.
yeah, if any of you want to see what is being discussed. Okay, yeah, but feel free to bring chairs up.
So as I said, we gave the architect the historic district guidelines, and I think he really was very respectful of them. As a matter of fact, I have your guidelines here.
Where is this architect? There's no address.
He's based in Connecticut, but I've done several other projects with him. It's interesting, most of his other work is not in this genre, but his portfolio, he does do historic work. It's interesting to me because a lot of architects have a specific style. You hire them because that's what they do. It's an unusual architect who can modern to shingle style to Victorian to traditional and get them all. And I think he does a nice job with it. So the massing is what we're here to talk about. And this really follows your guidelines. It's broken down into smaller masses. It's not one big mass. It's pretty much all gable style. Order must be established to prevent a disturbing chaos of shapes. These are very consistent shapes. The roof lines are pretty much identical from one building to one section to the next. There is one mass dominant by being larger or central. It's also an interesting lot in that you see it from Old Town Road, you see it face on. You also, if you travel along Old Town Road, you see it from the north side, which is not primary facade, but I think it's the one people are going to see. So if you look at the elevations on this design, you'll see that it looks good from both sides. They could equally be a front, in my opinion. You know, appropriately scaled connections is spelled out here. I think he's done that. Connectors between the three modules. To scale, they have the same roof pitch, the same gable design. Volumes are balanced visually around the center of the surface area. I think you hit that very well. Roof pitches, this is a 12 pitch, and your guidelines refer to 8 to 10 pitches being most common, but if you look at the other pictures, the surrounding properties, there are quite a few 10, 12, 14 pitches. There's some 15 pitch buildings, including our own. The dormers are all recommended type and gable. There are no overpowering dormers. There's one shed dormer, which does have a 4 and 12 pitch. The entry roof also has a 4/12 pitch, which is spelled out in the guidelines. You'll see the cupola. We had a discussion about that with the architect. He wanted a chimney. And I said, I really am not a believer in chimneys that don't do anything. Purely decorative chimneys. I think I've had that conversation in front of this board before as well. So he put the cupola. You know, it looks good. It's not something I really want to build up there, but it does identify the central part of the mass as primary and dominant. It gives you that visual alignment from the street. You look at that vertical axis from down through the gable and through the entry door. I think he did a nice job with it. And again, even with the cupola, we're 5-6 feet below the maximum height limit. The height of the building is such, and I've looked at it very carefully from all directions. Nobody above it or behind it is going to lose any view at all. It's going to block a little bit of the streetscape. You're not going to quite see Bridgegate Square the way you used to, but it's not going to impact anybody's ocean view, anybody's view of the bridge. We love our view from the top of the hill. I think everything I've done up there has been very courteous to everybody around me as much as I can.
Are there any examples in the district that have this sort of connecting, you know, it's 3 distinct massings that are
There are actually
joined?
quite a few. I don't know that there's anything that looks quite like this. Or I can think of a handful of buildings, even right in the neighborhood, that have
mean, there's-
additions that are connected.
Right, there's several historic homes that have then had later additions that are
Right.
clearly an addition.
Which is how historic buildings often.
Right, this doesn't
Evolve-
read
evolve.
like an historic building with add-ons. I mean, it reads as a,
No, it doesn't. But most of those historic buildings with add-ons didn't read that way until the add-ons. went on. They designed it and they added on.
Just a question, I'm probably not even supposed to ask, have you been through zoning yet?
It doesn't need to. It doesn't need to. No, this is a completely conforming lot. It meets all the spatial standards, all height, all setbacks. There's no reason for any relief. And I couldn't get relief anyway if I wanted it. So it would be a self-created hardship.
John, do you think we're going to be able to keep the concrete driveway?
I want to, we've been very careful with it so far. And to me, it's, it still has the initials in it.
But they will be, yeah.
Drawing a blank on it, put it in that.
Yeah, it was probably, oh, I don't.
It's 1954.
Oh, whenever you want.
We've had to repair a little bit of it.
Oh, and they, see, I don't
Our
remember.
questions come first.
Yeah, it was 1954.
Yeah, I love that driveway. It's really, and it's amazing to me that it still works.
It does.
The
right?
cars don't fall off of the sides.
I looked into doing a driveway like that next door on ours, which was a nightmare, and I just couldn't fit it. It would be so cost prohibitive.
Well, back then they did everything by, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they also did a little bit of the town.
I mean, I know this is all conforming and it's, what you're proposing is, smaller than what zoning permits. I'm just looking at the site section, page 5. And the overall width of it just seems so much larger than
Well,
the other structures around there.
when you're looking at it in 2 dimensions like that, it looks larger, but if you remember that there's a lot of depth relief in that, you're not gonna see it as that unbroken facade like that. Everything is a different depth.
Right, but if you're looking at a true section, you are. I mean, that's the maximum,
Yes.
maximum. So,
Yes.
so yes, you are.
It is.
So
You're right.
again, I think it looks quite large, larger than the adjacent structures
Well,
around.
that's the trade-off that you make. Stuff into what's essentially a hollow on the side of the hill. And if it weren't spread out, it would have to go up. That was very deliberate.
So we have a first floor plan. There's a second floor too, I guess, right?
No, there really isn't.
There-
One-
okay.
the One-story building. What you see here.
That's.
So what's,
Underneath this.
so what's at this location that looks like a second
Well,
story attic?
You can see that it steps up. No, there's no attic. So if you keep it. so-
Okay, so this is just one open floor.
It's a one-story
Okay.
building.
Well, there's a garage and basement under it.
Under the lowest section, comes down bottom.
Right. This
Yeah.
is just one open.
Right.
Essentially, it's a one.
Okay.
Yeah, it took me a long time to catch on to that.
Right, I was reading that as a second.
This is really helpful.
Also, just like the site comprehensive plans is, I'm pretty familiar with it. A lot of times. It's exactly the comprehensive plan advertised. Town lots, in-town lots with sewer and water. That would keep the higher density.
And you don't have permission yet from them.
I
Sewer
mean,
and water.
to your comment about a chimney for the sake of a chimney is not a great idea. I feel that way about cupolas. A cupola for a cupola is.
It's a legal seal. You'll get light in there. Not gonna put it up there as a bait. Put it up there as functional.
Before we go to audience questions and comments, because I'm sure there are there any?
I don't think it was presented well. Let's get at it at first, but it needs to fit into the hillside properly.
Yeah, I looked at the plans before I came back out and looked at the land. And in my mind, again, advantages and disadvantages have always been here. That whole slope that used to be completely clear, that everything to the south of the driveway, that whole hill was absolutely clear. There was no vegetation there. There was no shrubbery, there were no trees. And the kids used to slide there. And I got out today and I pulled up in front of the store and I went, oh my gosh. I remember them planting that, all that stuff. I just didn't realize how big it had grown. So it's not like you're putting it on a space that's wide and open right now.
No, you know, the lawn in front of maybe it's. That is. Sort of beautiful. Alcohol laid out to dry.
Oh, that was all cats. That was the cats that got off.
Yeah, it's all different stuff.
Different.
Oh, Billy Huggins, I made up.
Yeah.
It's not such a. But. I built the house on top of the hill that you live in. It's a priority, was keeping that clear. Before I even planned the house, I put that, replaced that picket fence in front. You know, I love that hill. I love that lawn. This most recent storm. So that would. Quite a bit of clear. Well,
I'd like to open it up to the public if there are any questions, comments. Come up, introduce yourself and have at it.
Cindy Lassiter, I live on Calico Hill for the last 56 years. And I have several comments, along with historical text and content, and points of concern. Most of the surrounding houses on Calico Hill are historic, with the exception of the one that burned down after fire and then John rebuilt it. This is a truly very, very special place. Few places on the island have a concentration of single family homes like this. And there are 6 surviving on the hill. And then we have Charlene's and Glenn's got 2, Jessica Ranowski, Historical Society. It's a very unique enclave of houses. Together they represent a big part of Block Island's history. Nearly all the homes on Calico Hill have historic plaques, with the exception of the one that from the fire. The Block Island experienced a booming building boom in the 1800s. I went about the 1920s, and homeowners is unique, and that's when all of our houses were built between 1860 and 1907 was the Langdon House. As homeowners of these unique properties, we take very special pride in preserving the neighborhood, the homes, and the appearance of the neighborhood. The Benjamin Rose House, which is now owned by the Spears, is one of the oldest homes, single-family homes in town. I realize we're not touching that house at this point, and on the plan before you. However, until a short time ago, what was now split for the build this new house was once part of the lawn of the Benjamin Rose House. It was also one of the very few houses that has survived photographs in town, single family homes, and there's one from the Cirque Hotel that you can look down to Dodge Street and there it is. And it's really important to preserve that home and what came with that home. Benjamin Rose had an important connection to the Nantucket House, which is the historic society next door. Gideon Roosevelt was the father of Benjamin Rose, and Rose built the house, and relatives and it took the house and also overflowed to the Benjamin Rose Rose House, so there's Victoria's house. And I wanted to just go over, John brought up about how Calico Hill got its name, and I just to tighten it up a bit. There was a shipwreck, the Spartan, and it was an iron-hulled steamer traveling from the Fall River, which ran aground in Duns Fog and landed at Harbor Point. The island, and being Black Islanders, we never missed an opportunity to make some money and sell some goods, so we collected all the bolts of calico that were in the hull of this ship. And it was decided that those lawns on that, on Calico Hill, in the sunny, getting that east first sun would be the best place to lay out this calico. And hence the name, and there are still pieces of calico in our historical society. Calico Hill is important. It's mentioned on all the maps, it's mentioned in tourist paraphernalia. Fred Benson's book mentions it, Bob Downey's books, Ethel Pope Ritchie, Lauren Legends, Peter Greenman did a great deal of history on the Torment Rose and Calico Hill and the Rose family there. I offer this brief history to emphasize the importance of Calico Hill and having these lawns. And it is a magnificent lawn, especially in the Benjamin Rose house. I think that residents and visitors who come upon it, look up and see a special snapshot in time when they look at Calico Hill. It's a very, very special place. The Spears have made some really positive contributions to the Benjamin Rose house. They have cleared so much of it, so we have now been able to see that beautiful lawn again, which is so iconic to Calico Hill and its history. The pump house was restored, and they indeed got a plaque for their house. The size and the scale, if I may just talk about that, I just think the size and scale of this proposal is completely incompatible with the surroundings of our Victorian era neighborhood and not consistent with the island's historic character. In contrast, the Queen Anne, which John built, he tried to make that fit in. A Mansford burned down, which was 1879, the same year as my house. But you weren't gonna, if you wanted to try something else that was gonna fit in, and it did. And I just feel that this project is not, I'm not gonna, of course he can build a house on this land, I'm not trying to say that, but I just think we need to have a better fit, and we need to care for more of that front lawn. I really strongly urge before we do citing and massing approvals, that we get an architectural site model that shows the homes, the topography, the elevation changes. This is a huge project for downtown. Once this land is gone, and it's not even, it shouldn't be gone anyway because it is so historic, but we've got to be really, really, really careful on this project. And many of us feel really important. I mean, we have a deep love for these old houses and saving them, and I just want to make sure that Benjamin Rose house is seen, and that we can enjoy the lawn that is the history behind it. As an aside, 150 plaques are out there on these historic homes. Historic homes and history on this island are really, really important to people. Black Island's history rivals its natural beauty. Thank you. I also am wondering about the size of the house. I didn't see how many square foot in there.
Is that on the,
I have a question.
So
Susan
then-
Bush's house, is that an old house or is that,
No,
that's a new? Oh, it's not on, oh, okay.
what is the square footage of the house? About 2,400.
That's a big house.
I'm sorry, which house?
Uh,
The current proposed house. No.
When the Manasees proposed their addition in the back, we had them do a model, an architectural model showing the topography and how it related. And I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I generally agree. I think this is a significant location that, two things, it's a brand new building in the historic district, which I think automatically merits highest level of scrutiny, because it's not just a rebuild or an addition to something there. This is something that forever will change the landscape. And again, we're supportive of positive development, you know, and we're all recognizing within rights, you're going to build something. So I think collectively, and you've demonstrated you're good stewards of the island, and you've got a good track record on the island. But this project does merit a very high level review and scrutiny to ensure its appropriateness. I think, to your point early, 2D drawings don't fully convey the impact. I think some kind of models, more information to help convey that to your neighbors, to us, is helpful. We talked about missed opportunity on a small, simple project. We don't want to get in a situation here. Okay, it looked like you had something to say. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with much of what's said. I do think that this is a tastefully designed house. I don't have particular reverence for age. To me, just because something is old doesn't mean it's good. And I think that we're creating history in architecture every day. Have been for thousands of years, so built today. I'm almost done with this apartment. A couple more houses, more renovation work. I'm almost done. And I hope when people look in the future, they look back, they see that I've left kind of a legacy of well-built houses. And they're modern. I admire old houses. I've been studying loving houses for 50+ years. And I love beautiful old houses, but they're also dinosaurs. My house in Top California will cost about $1,000 a year. Utility bills cost me about $3 a day to feed it. So that is what we have to do. We can't keep saving houses that take $3,000 or $4,000 to fuel up here. We preserve the ones that are beautifully preserved, admire them. They contribute to our historical fabric, tourist attraction, beauty, lives, live every day. So I agree with all of that. But I hope too that someday in the future we recognize that houses of all ages have value. Some have value. As far as building a model, I understand your concerns. Understand that two-dimension doesn't show everything that's specified. How would it be if we did computer model instead of a physical?
I think that's a possibility. I mean, there's a range. Some computer models convey information very well, some don't. So it's so I think the goal is, however it is achieved, to convey the information to a way that satisfies the expectations, so that one could react to. I personally have seen excellent computer models. I've also seen ones that, yeah, but
No problem with that.
yeah, I think personally, I still am concerned about the overall size and scale in terms of the compatibility with the size and scale of what's there existing. 100% agree with you. New houses done well are wonderful things, and we shouldn't shun them. But this is an historic district. It's a very significant historic location.
A sensitive site.
Yeah, and I think it is a tourism site. It's it's right at the Four Corners. It's what everybody sees, and we know you're sensitive to that. But
Our house is on.
right. I think you could get one.
Don't push it, John.
Yeah, right, that's what I'm saying, you can make your own. But yeah,
So far.
There's a house on High Street that has a plaque that shouldn't. So,
It's a lot of things that on the asylum that shouldn't. One of the things that I had looked at, there have been references to a couple of old photographs. One, probably everybody is familiar with. It is of the historical or the Woonsocket House and Woonsocket House Annex primarily. It's coming out of the neck, and Calico Hill is sort of up and behind it. And there's another one, this may be one of the ones that Cindy was talking about, when what I call the Willis House did not have the dormers on it. That's, you know which one I'm talking about, Cindy? Yeah. And those two give a really good, and I think if there were a way of crafting a photograph, an image that was set in both of those, using both of those photos as a background to give it a bit, because I've seen, we've had some computer models that are done by folks on the mainland who didn't really understand what the land was about here. And it doesn't work. It hasn't in the past. And I would like to see something like that. I said, again, when I came out today, I was thinking when I looked at that land, it was going to be like, how on God's green earth is that ever going to fit there? And it looks, to my untrained eye, a much better fit than I thought it would.
Where's that view from up there? See the top of the hill, you won't see this. It's gonna be hidden behind the post office building inside. This building will not show. It'll show from when you're in front of the inside the house, when you're for a couple of moments to the sea. Why I think that weather facade.
Yeah, I think that's the most important one.
But I think that from the street, you'll see that we're also includes these steps. But up front hill. No, I'm perfectly willing to go back and do either model and this model would rather not spend a couple of months getting either model. They come and find out that it doesn't come out. What else you want to see?
my concern is that the project that's next to the Hodge property was done with a computer model, and it doesn't look at anything like what was shown. So, you know, I think a physical model really helps, or a computer model with realistic lines on it.
Well, that's why I was suggesting take existing photographs, blow them up and putting something on them, because we know the photograph is real to begin with. We know what the original ones look like and if they've been manipulated.
What they put on.
We're trusting you, John. Work with us.
I
If she wants.
but I've also sold
You stretching your legs, Marie, or would you like to say something? Okay.
it. You know,
Okay.
the good models have well drawn ability.
Right.
You can circle around over it. Down.
Yeah.
I don't think that's. I don't think it's outside.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah, we've got some
that-
cases of that.
I mean, I don't think we've been satisfied that the size and the scale, how it's really impacting the neighborhood. I'm seeing some nods from your neighbors. Um,
But I don't think we would, like, if he was gonna do a physical model. He wouldn't do one of the neighborhood.
well,
Right.
right, but it's got it,
Yeah.
It's the hill.
it's the
Yeah.
hill, so the house is on the hill, the impact of that.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, for preliminary review, it's site plan including the adjacent property structures. So that I don't think has been completely successfully conveyed.
Is there like an in-between, like? It just got started without, like, I hear what you're saying.
Well,
about,
well,
you know, spending months.
The physical model, I mean, it doesn't have to look like the houses that are there.
Yeah.
It's just little masses that put down with that, right?
Yeah.
Right, I'm not in a position to say how to convey it because, you know, you and your architect have had discussions and the technology that it changes exponentially every year. So, you know, there probably is I mean, I would go back and convey these are the general concerns.
No, because you want to see how it relates to
The hill.
the neighborhood.
Right. Yeah, the tiny little neighborhood. Right.
Can I make a motion that we approve this based on the fact that that a model has to come to us for siting and massing approval? It looks very nice, but I'm not sure how to word that.
I mean, I'm not sure we're fully ready to
there yet.
approve it.
No,
mean,
I-
because again, just looking at that section, if this is really what we see,
Right.
I mean, that's dramatic
Okay,
uptake from that.
so,
to that.
so we need to move forward here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when I look at that section, that makes me very anxious. It's like, wow, that's dramatic.
The front section?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's the one that I think, because it is relatively close to the road and you don't have the north side, you're going to see from here.
exactly. That'll be a
This
little
side, you're
mellower.
only gonna see from here. It's gonna be a much, longer.
You're losing that
I don't know
lawn,
what the
too.
word is.
That's,
But you're not talking about where you, I'm talking about what you see from the road. It's like, we had this really great model, not model. Plans, elevations, whatever, for the kittens. And with the whole depth and forth and everything.
I
And
need to move this along.
I'm not unhappy with what happened to the kittens. But
Right.
once they started building it, you walk up to the parking lot and it's sort of like,
Yeah.
okay, if you're a
2400
hummingbird,
it's going to work.
you can see what was on the drawing that we approved. If you're a person on the road, you're not going to. And that's why I'm talking about the road. And what part of this here you do see, and you do see the lower part.
More comments from.
From in front of the
Yeah.
historical, I pulled over today, I didn't take
Thanks.
pictures, I almost did. But I don't think you have to get back a certain degree to see the whole facade of this building.
One more audience comment.
I was just curious, is it 22 feet from the well? Where this house starts? Is that, I've only seen a number from the. There, that's correct.
Uh,
Near the road,
yeah, it starts very near the road, doesn't it?
yeah, okay, it's 22 feet.
The setback has the envelope on it.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that's the view that concerns me is the Old Town Road looking up.
That one doesn't. Me at all because.
Okay,
Right, but how far does the house start?
When does the house start?
But it's not far beyond it.
It's about 12 feet.
Well, so that's pretty close to the road. Makes it sense.
okay, we have
Motion that
You-
we
you
table
have-
this
wait.
Until we have.
you have a motion on the table already, so you either need to withdraw it.
Withdraw that.
Okay.
Wasn't
know.
seconded.
I understand that, but
Okay.
she made it. That's all I'm saying.
So I'm just making a motion that we table this to the next meeting pending seeing a model and discussion, whether it's computer generated or a
How about some accurately scaled?
how about what? I can't hear you.
A couple of accurately scaled architectural renderings.
No,
Yeah, if it conveys the the concerns about the impact and the sightlines, I think however you want to show that to us, that's fine. But I think the consensus up here and in the audience is there needs to be more information to satisfy. Okay.
is there a second?
What is the date?
Maria said no. Pam, do you have any comments? Pam, do you have any additional comment before we, okay.
Next, we need to see a comparison.
That's what we're asking.
Talking about.
We don't have that context. We feel that's inadequate at this moment.
But we're good with the being two-dimensional.
26.
Yeah, however, as long as it conveys it.
I think we can do that.
Okay,
If it doesn't work, I can put you on Maze. I don't. Okay.
so was that a completed motion?
I think, but it hasn't been seconded.
I second it.
Okay.
All in favor of having them come back with revised information to clarify the impact to the surrounding buildings?
Alright.
Aye.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thanks. I know that was long, but I think it wanted to make sure.
It's long compared to a lot of zoning.
Yes.
Yeah. You answer Mark.
Historic building. You're coming down Putney Road, it's actually gonna, you're not gonna.
At 5.
We don't. I want.
They're all at 5 now.
You cannot see a front.
What?
I don't think so. Huh? Yes.
You see it once you get to Bridgegate.
You begin.
Can we move on?
Yep.
But you also, right now, you see trees.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna move on to our other category. Good night. This,
Elizabeth, before you go on,
yep,
you made a reference to the impact of new building in the historic district. And I just want to say that you appreciate that because I've sat on this board for a number of years. And new in the historic district has sort of been dismissed as what's new. And I keep saying, well, it's going to be old someday.
God willing.
I really.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Not recognizing. We met years ago.
We did, yep,
Yeah, when I actually did not.
no worries.
Yeah.
Good seeing you again.
Have a great night.
You too.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
Get that boy a microphone.
Ah,
Put that boy a lapel mic.
I know, but his voice, his register is really low and it's really hard
Okay.
to hear him.
We're
Yeah.
discussing the historical and architectural values of properties in Area 1 map of the potential expansion of the historic district.
You guys get to see my craft project.
Exactly. So thank you, Amanda. You have prepared proposed Area 1, which lists each property with a photo, with a little bit of information. It's sort of a boilerplate for us to then take to the next level to
And we obviously don't have to do all of it tonight, but now you can
right, and I don't think we will.
look at your packet, think about it. They're stapled so no one loses them.
But just as a little background reminder, why have a historic district? Again, the purpose is to maintain the architectural character, cohesiveness, protect significant structures. And I think for Area 1, the significant structure that we really want to protect is the Narragansett, which is just outside of it, but having a district in this location really helps that corridor.
Well, the Narragansett's in it.
Narragansett already.
Right, but this expansion of the district,
Right.
About the Narragansett property. You're not talking about the Narragansett property, you're talking about
the actual Narragansett building.
the Narragansett buildings are in this.
I know, but I'm saying by increasing this, that will further protect an existing protected building by not having it the surrounding schlock up.
That somebody could build a hotel there, right in that corner.
Exactly, within rights. So
Or worse. Or worse.
anyway, so that's a little background why we're even considering this. And, designation helps preserve an area within the distinct history, architecture.
I'm just so nervous, we can't believe what we got already, honestly, because nobody.
No, I know, but
Maybe we could have a sign subcommittee. I'm not gonna be on it.
Then you're not allowed to suggest it.
for us to proceed with this, would have to prepare a report outlining the significance of the district with a map. We've already got a good start of that. Then it would be the historic resource survey. Thanks to Amanda, we have a start to that, but then we have to fill it out.
Definitely a nice job, but it's not nervous.
Well, the downside of not making it any bigger, in my mind, is in the future negatively impacting buildings like the Narragansett, because having zero control. True.
Not only the Narragansett, but the building that Bimmy is in, that's an old, building,
Exactly,
and,
just that corridor.
and Dead Eyes.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily, you don't necessarily have to put all these properties in.
Well,
And
it wouldn't
even-
make sense to leave anybody
Well,
out.
Well, like it's,
I think we would, but I mean, even within that, there are criteria or categories, historically significant, a contributing building or a non-contributing building within the district.
Mhm.
So I mean, if there's something that happens to fall in here that really just happens because it's in this historic district zone, it can be categorized as a non-contributing building. And I think that's something that we will have to go through with this inventory, is make some kind of hierarchy designation.
But with then a non-contributing building, consider the requirement of, if they're replacing window, when they go come before us.
They'd still have to come before us, but
So it'd still be work.
yeah, but some of it
So should
maybe is
we-
more of an administrative.
Should we take this home and make comments?
yes,
for
Oh,
the
definitely.
next meeting?
I have an Excel sheet ready to go for your comments. I did a lot of work.
Says, doesn't be
Well, I mean, that's up to you guys. If,
beyond the development should be, but I know that and I can say this, because I talked to him the other day, Frank doesn't want to be.
If Frank's his building,
Well,
No, it's- and, Hutchinson-
But Frank's a good
Blank
example, this,
pages.
this corner one, there are two
Oh,
buildings.
I
on
might have
it.
added
And in
extra.
my mind, the primary one is a contributing
Are all
building. It fits within the
No,
character, but the
but
one
everything
slightly down the
after-
hill with that fake veneer stone, I would consider
95.
non-contributing.
A lot of buildings have some foundation.
That one, none of
95.
them have a fake one. I mean, that's
96.
how I saw it being built. That's like a.
This is all
a
blank.
veneer.
Buildings, this house is
Drainage, you-
fine
I have all of them if you want.
Yeah.
There was a retaining wall there. that was being used.
You can
Right.
just print it extra. Yeah, they did it. Oh, that's it.
So I think what would also be helpful if, how does this work? If there's, if we want to meet up as a mini committee or some of us, all of us to kind of do this together, not together. I mean, it's not a meeting,
Right.
but I don't know how it.
Well, we have options.
Right.
You can all write notes. I can put them, compile them together and we can go through it. Or you could have a subcommittee. It can't be more than 2 to 3 people.
I think 2.
Yeah, it can be 2 people.
This subcommittee can only be 2 people.
It's to be less than a quorum, so it's to be 3 or less.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's up.
And I would like to have a little subcommittee for this, I mean, I think we should all make comments, but I think it's helpful if then.
Right.
A couple of us actually
Sit and go through it.
go through it, and if there's any additional information, then at the next meeting, we can sort of be like, oh, here, we need you to do this, this, or this.
Okay.
So, okay. Anybody want to be on my committee?
I'm there by default, so I don't count.
Mark, minimum of 1.
Margie tried to do that, her and Karen Duale for Old Harbor Task Force.
Yeah.
They're like, you can just join in. No, I can't.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Okay.
Who's doing it?
Martha will be on my committee.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe, or would you like to be on my committee?
Even Mark- How about, and Mike would be good.
Yeah, I can ask him.
Okay,
I think he's on his way back. He should be back.
sounds great.
Okay.
Okay, so it's, the committee at the moment is Martha and me. And then the.
We're gonna ask Mike or Bill.
Still have like it's some input or?
Oh,
Oh,
please do.
yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
No, definitely. Make your comments.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, I'm willing to be part of the conversation.
Okay, good.
We have
Drafted all up there.
this place, wagon seals when they were born.
Okay, but before that happens, I want to close
We-
the minutes.
Take one and pass it down, please.
Well, I was not at the last meeting. I only saw it by Zoom.
Okay, well then you can abstain. You don't have to vote. Right? That's when you do that?
You get to.
Did I keep a copy? I did keep a copy.
All right, it's just that's the Swanton house.
I love it, so many.
How often does it get misspelled?
Right, and they subsequently did submit the requested window information, so that was.
And on this committee for 12 years, and I think young lady's a good fit.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, side note, how's your window going?
Maybe tomorrow can start.
Yay! That's exciting.
There's been a lot of weather excuses. I think the King Day was an excuse one week. But them not arriving.
Okay, but I'm gonna interrupt you and make a motion to.
Yep.
To approve these minutes.
Second.
Okay. They didn't come.
That was a typo because we had already approved him.
No, it's fine. Gary, when,
Yeah.
he says, when are you gonna do that? I've been looking at that for 30 years, something like this. And he said, Saturday. I was like, oh, for you. And he was. He did.
Wow.
And they did pretty good Band-Aid fix.
Yeah. I don't think he's done that yet, though. He did the front. He didn't do the side door yet. Yeah. Okay, so do we have an all in favor on the?
Martha's finished. with
Oh,
that.
gotcha.
Okay, then yes. Oh, no, we got
I-
3 out of 5 here. 2 of them.
Abstained.
Right. Okay, motion to end the meeting.
So moved. Second.
Yeah.
All in favor?